Peace and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. I have done this lesson earlier today, and as I went back and looked at it, it seems as though it kind of had cut me short before I had a chance to actually complete the lesson. It had stopped at verse 10 of Ezekiel chapter 14. So, what I will do is read verse 10 and finish out with a commentary that I wanted to add to that lesson. Verse 10 of Ezekiel chapter 14 reads, "And they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him. Therefore, the false prophets, and those who follow after him, they both shall be punished." Verse 11, that, that the house of Israel may go no more astray from me, will no longer walk after idols, neither be polluted any more with their transgressions, but that they may be my people, and I may be their strong one, saith Yah. That concludes this lesson. Set my face against that man. I hope those of you who are listening, you are reminded and strengthened, knowing that you are not to put your children or anything before the Most High. The very first commandment that we were given is that we should put nothing before the Most High. That includes our person, our desires, and certainly we're not to put our children before the Most High. For if we make the error of putting anything before the Most High, we have transgressed the first commandment that we were given, is that we were not to put anything before him. As it pertains to the personal issue that I've spoke of, I have dealt with this with my child who was walking contrary in my house, and she was kicked out of my house. As difficulties arrived after a year, she wanted to come back. She was allowed to come back, but the rules were once again laid out. And as I laid out those rules, she was clearly aware of what those punishments would be. However, I found that the Most High had caused difficulties to be in my house. So when the difficult times come, you are to consider, and when the joyful times are upon you, you are certainly to be thankful and to give praises for it. But difficult times will come. Whenever difficult times come upon you and upon your house, the first thing you are to do, you are to clearly take a good look at yourself to see exactly what is it that I am doing that is causing the Most High to create difficulty within your life and within your house. So as I carefully analyzed the whole situation, I realized that my child is the reason that the Most High had set his face against my house for a time, because my house became troublesome. And I knew that I was walking within the laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts, and so was my wife. And I have, for the second time, dismissed my daughter from my house. She no longer lives here. And upon doing so, peace and calm has been restored to my house. So some people may not have the discipline to do such a thing, because many of them are not walking after the law, statutes, judgments, and precepts of the Most High. So whether it's your child, your spouse, or whomever, it takes a disciplined person to remove themselves from someone or something that's causing a conflict in their life, or that is walking contrary to the Most High's law. Remember, two cannot walk together unless they be agreed. So you must carefully analyze what's going on around you. As it pertains to the issue that I was having, I spoke to a couple of buddies of mine, Israelite males, and I told them simply that I have cast my daughter out of my house. So one of them, his response was, "Man, I couldn't do that. I could kick my sons out, but I could not kick my daughters out." I'm thinking to myself that, well, you don't walk after the laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts of the Most High. What I'm realizing is that many of our men do not have any standards in which they live by within their own houses. Another Israelite male, he asked me, what does my wife think about that? What does she have to say? And I reiterated to him that my wife doesn't run my house. So what we have men of Israel who are, number one, they're not following the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, or precepts, and many of them are not taking control of their own houses. So to hear me say that I had cast my daughter out because she's walking contrary to the Most High's laws, it was shocking for them to hear. But some of these men, their daughters brought babies to their houses when they were teenagers. Some of these men, their daughters had children while in high school, some of them shortly thereafter. Many of them have children. There's several men that I know, men of Israel, who their daughters have had children. The father is nowhere around. The woman is unmarried. All types of difficulties with the child, all types of difficulties with the father. But yet these men will aid and abet their daughters in their behavior. So there's chaos in the house of Israel, and the chaos is caused because our males have not taken command of their house as our forefathers did. The man is to rule the house, but he is to rule by the law of the Most High. If you look at the house of Israel throughout the earth today, our men are failing. And because we are failing, hence the whole nation is failing. So to our men that's in the house of Israel, if you are to take a hold of the Most High law, number one, it requires discipline. It doesn't require you being emotional. Well, I can't do this to my daughter. If my daughter is going to walk contrary to the Most High's law, and I'm going to walk within the confines of the Most High's law, certainly two of us are walking in opposite directions. And a choice needs to be made. And my choice is with the Most High. So I will say to you, as for me and my house, I will walk after the law, statutes, judgments, and precepts of the Most High. And the more of our men that do this, and the more of our women that do this, the Most High will then turn away and repent of the evil that he has pronounced against us and against our house. We're not to walk contrary to his instruction, for if we do so, he will turn his face against us and against our houses. Peace and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law